Take it off, please, she begged, her voice raw, trembling like the last note of a dying song. The lantern light flickered across her torn dress, dust clinging to her skin, blood dried where the rope had cut her wrists. Outside, the wind howled across the plains, carrying the scent of rain and gunpowder. Inside, the rancher stood still, his hands hovering midair, his jaw locked tight. He had found her an hour ago, half buried under the wreckage of a burned wagon, her family dead, her name unknown. She wasn't supposed to live. She wasn't supposed to open her eyes, whisper his name, or look at him like that. Like she knew him. The rancher, Caleb Rowan, hadn't heard someone plead like that since the war. Since his brother had begged for mercy on a field of mud and smoke. The sound of her voice tore open every scar he'd buried. Her dress clung to her like a brand of shame. The bandits had left her with nothing but a ripped sleeve and the memory of their cruelty. She wasn't asking him for sin. She was asking him to save what little dignity she had left. Caleb took a breath, steady, like a man about to face a storm. You sure? He asked, voice low, thick as whiskey. She nodded. Please. His fingers trembled as he untied the last knot, the fabric slipping away to reveal bruises shaped by another man's rage. Her skin was a battlefield, every mark a story of what she'd survived. Caleb swallowed hard, his heart thudding like hooves in his chest. He didn't dare look too long, didn't dare touch her more than needed. He turned, threw his coat around her shoulders. It was too big, swallowing her whole, but it carried the scent of cedar smoke and safety. She shivered once, then leaned forward, her forehead pressing against his chest. Caleb froze again. He hadn't been held in years. Not since his wife's grave had turned to dust beneath the cottonwoods. He'd built his life out of fences and silence, out where no one could find him. And yet here she was, fragile, desperate, bleeding, and something inside him shifted. What's your name? He asked. Clara, she whispered. Clara May. He nodded slowly, the sound of her name rolling in his chest like thunder over the hills. He didn't know what made him say it next. Maybe the way she looked up at him, or maybe the part of him that had been waiting for something to come back to life. You'll stay here, he said. Ain't safe out there no more. She blinked at him. You don't even know me. Caleb's mouth twisted in something like a smile. Don't need to. You're here. That's enough. He built her a room beside his own, nailed the boards by lantern light, the sound of his hammer echoing through the dark. Days passed into weeks. She healed slow, her laughter soft and unsure, like a colt learning to walk again. He'd find her by the corral sometimes, feeding the horses, her hair catching sunlight. Then one morning, she came to him with a paper in her hand, a marriage license, wrinkled and unsigned. Sheriff said, I can't stay without a name, she murmured. Without a husband. Caleb stared at the paper, then at her, the silence between them heavy as summer heat. He thought of his late wife's locket, still hanging over the fireplace. He thought of Clara's voice that night, begging him to take off her chains, begging him to see her as something more than what she'd been made to endure. And when he looked at her, really looked, he realized he already had. She wasn't a stranger anymore. She was the reason his heart had started to beat again. The wind rattled the window panes as he reached for the pen. His hand didn't shake this time. Not when he wrote his name beside hers. When it was done, she looked up at him, tears glimmering in her eyes. Why'd you do it? She whispered. Caleb brushed a thumb along her jaw, his voice rough but steady. Because you asked me to take it off, Clara, and I did. The pain, the past, the loneliness. He stepped closer, the light catching the edge of his smile.